The Cowboys will look to become the first team to repeat as NFC East champion since the Eagles won 4 straight division titles from 01 to 04. Entering this year, the NFC East has gone 19 consecutive seasons without a repeat champ, the longest streak by any division in NFL history. ESPN Analytics has the Eagles as a slight favorite over the Cowboys to win the NFC East in what is expected to be a 2-team race for the division title. Mina, do you like Philly over Dallas in the East?
How could you not?
I've gone back and forth on this. I'm kind of edging Dallas a little bit as I think a little bit more about Philly with their 2 new coordinators, some of the changes on defense and the struggles I saw down the stretch. I know everybody's really low on Dallas's offseason, but I don't think they lost as much talent as maybe people describe.
I'm going with Philly because of the acquisition of Saquon Barkley. Jalen Hurts has led the NFL in the last 3 years for rushes by a quarterback. I think Saquon makes Jalen Hurts healthier, and I give the edge to Philly.
Yeah, I'm going to get a slight edge to Philadelphia, and I do agree with Mike T. I think the Saquon Barkley acquisition is going to help be a 3-down back, and it's going to help Jalen Hurts, as well.
What is this slight edge? Guys, first off, the Cowboys did get a lot worse. Because first off, they didn't get better, okay? And they did get worse. And the other teams, specifically the Eagles now, got better. So she said that she's confused. She goes, I'm concerned with the 2 coordinators. If these were 2 brand new coordinators that were not established in the NFL, then I could understand. Because then there would be big, gigantic question mark. You would say, I don't know. What can this guy do? He was pretty successful in college, or hey, he was like a tight ends coach or whatever. Like, then I could understand. Which is essentially what happened last season with the Eagles. That's not the case. You're talking about 2 bona fide established coordinators, both offensively and defensively. We know that they can run an offense. We know that they can run a defense. That alone is light years ahead, whatever the heck the Eagles had going on last season. That alone. And yeah, of course, the Eagles had a great draft. They got Saquon. They had a great offseason in general. Like, how could you not think that this is absolutely the Eagles to lose? It's just kind of comical to me that you could even really doubt that. It's one thing if the Cowboys were aggressive and if the Cowboys made moves, then I could say, okay. But the Cowboys have done the opposite of that. They added Ezekiel Elliott. That's going to put them over the hump. That's going to make them a better team. The Eagles completely fell apart at the end of last season, and yet it still came down to the end. They still had a chance to win the division over the Cowboys, who seemingly were like the best offensive team ever, winning 12 straight, having 3 straight seasons with 12 wins. They're amazing. Hurrah. And then they get dominated by the Packers. So they were such fool's gold to me. They absolutely were. And so I'm just not seeing how anyone can look at what the Eagles have done and see how they have not incrementally, but substantially gotten better on both sides of the football, on both sides, both offensively, defensively, coaching wise. Everything has just gotten better top to bottom. So I'm confused why they don't believe that. And the thing is to me, this is where the doubt of Jalen Hurts comes in. And I think he brought up such a great point about that Jalen Hurts should be more healthy because he won't have to run the ball as much. And I think that's a great point and a very valid point. But it's just so fascinating to me because it's hard for me to imagine that they would be doubting the Eagles as much as some people are if maybe they had like a different quarterback. Because all of a sudden now they're hyper focused on coordinators, which is funny. I usually am. I'm always talking about coordinators because I know how important they are. But you don't see a lot of other people say that. I don't hear Mina or any of these other guys say, well, we don't know about their coordinators. Like, you don't really typically hear the media say that a lot. But now that it's with the Eagles, they're going to bring up the coordinators. I don't buy it. It just lands weird to me. You don't really hear them talking about the coordinators for any of these other teams. What about a new coordinator for defense with the Dallas Cowboys? Why does that not concern you? You fired Dan Quinn, who we know is a great defensive mind. You got a new coordinator. Why does that not equally concern you? That's what my point. That's what doesn't make sense. To give the edge based off of coordinating Makes no sense when the Cowboys had to get a new coordinator defensively. So it stands out to me that the Eagles get so much more nitpicked and lack of trust, and we're gonna act like AJ Brown isn't that dude, Devontae isn't that dude, Saquon is suddenly not that dude. When he was with the Giants, he was that dude, and now he's not. Kellen Moore was a great coordinator with the Cowboys, now he's not, right? Like it just doesn't make sense to me. So the doubt is always weird. I think a lot of teams get doubted, and the media always does have their bias. And I think every team always feels that the media is biased against their team. That seems to be a very common theme, especially since starting this channel, that I see a lot of people feel that way. But I will say that there does seem to be some validity and truth to that kind of extra layer of bias towards the Eagles, which is fascinating, because I see so many people. It's like I've seen people speak more highly about like Russell Wilson and Justin Fields than they have Jalen Hurts, a guy who led his team to the Super Bowl and balled out, right? Like that's to me, like they're willing to give Justin Fields the benefit of the doubt over Jalen Hurts. They say Jalen Hurts only had one good year. Justin Fields has had no good years, and yet they think that Justin Fields can lead the Pittsburgh Steelers to the AFC Championship game or the Super Bowl. Like, please make that make sense for me. I can't grasp my head around it. Like, what did Jalen Hurts do to someone's mom? Like, what did he do? I really don't get it, because I can't wrap my head around it. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think? Do you think that the Eagles have just an edge, or do you think that they will absolutely win the division for the NFC East? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.